You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 166. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart, brother of Gugam, son of Goon. We'll see more about that later.
Yes. Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show, plus many other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Ultimate Facepalm at rhymeswithgeek.com. And Comic Reflections is also available at backissuehero.com, the home of classic comics on the web. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Okay.
So today, the bulk of our show is going to be a look at the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we talked about the original X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And this is some stories today about the quote-unquote all-new, all-different X-Men from the 70s. Except Cyclops wasn't different, so it's a lie.
Yeah. I guess that's the only one that's the same.
Yeah, I mean, Jean...
And Charles.
Well, yeah, and Jean is in these stories, but we have the bulk of the cast is new. We got Wolverine and Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Storm.
Because she's Phoenix now.
Yeah, she's going through changes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but these are my X-Men. When I think of my favorite superheroes, I don't necessarily go to the X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
but I always enjoyed the ensemble of Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy those characters together, especially in this period. It's just really good. So, anyway, the first book we're going to talk about today is X-Men number 128, and the story is called The Action of the Tiger. It was co-plotted together by John Byrne and Chris Claremont, and Claremont wrote the script. Art by John Byrne on pencils and Terry Austin inking. This is the third and last part of the story, the X-Men in battle with Proteus, who is this evil mutant. He's the son of Moira McTaggart, a friend of the X-Men. And when I was a kid, I had and read many times the first part of this story. So, and I loved it. That was great. Now Proteus takes over people's bodies and burns through them like a parasite.
Right.
And he has these reality warping powers.
Right. He's in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah.
And he's, I don't know.
He's on a rampage.
Yeah.
Killing the crap out of people.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's done acid or something like that.
Yeah.
So, it's got who is it, Moira in his arms.
Moira.
Moira? Okay.
Moira. And that's his mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That should have been good for her to be the guy's... Oh, that's right. He took somebody's body, so...
Yeah. The body he's in now is actually that of his father, whom he and Moira were estranged from. So,
Mm-hmm.
but...
Yeah, all right. We got a bunch of Scottish lasses flying about. Looking nice.
Yeah.
Nothing decorates a city being destroyed by girls in trouble. So.
It's an unsung trope of comic books.
Yeah.
So the X-Men, a whole mess of them, are springing into action. We've got Havoc and Polaris, who are kind of only part-time X-Men. Havoc, of course, is Cyclops' brother Alex,
Mm-hmm.
and his girlfriend Polaris, who has the same powers as Magneto, and for a lot of people thought she was Magneto's daughter.
Yeah.
Spoiler, she's not.
Oh, okay.
She's the chick with the green hair.
Okay.
And the Banshee is in the X-Men at this time, but he's leaving. His sonic scream is on... He's injured, and so he doesn't have his powers right now. And he's got a romance going with Moira McTaggart. So.
Okay. And we got Wolverine, Colossus, Banshee, Storm. So.
And Cyclops, too.
Oh, yeah.
And Jean.
Mm-hmm.
So.
As Phoenix.
Yep.
All right, so they're fighting him, and they don't do a good job. They do their best. Wolverine gets his butt kicked, and he's saved by Polaris, and he's happy that he's running away.
Right?
And nothing seems to help, but it's really cool what's going on, though.
Yeah. Proteus, there's a good flashback that's kind of details what's gone before. The X-Men had battled Magneto at the Muir Island facility, which is Moira's place where she helps, troubled mutants or whatever. And Magneto left, but before he did, he sprung Proteus, I think by accident.
Yeah, he sees this Angus McWhirter,
who wants revenge on the X-Men for something.
Yeah.
And Proteus took over the guy's body, he uses up your body. You become a husk once he's done with you. But he has these crazy powers too, and he also killed one of Jamie Madrox's, the Multiple Man's bodies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Multiple Man. He's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't get really used much in this story though.
Yeah.
So Proteus turns his mother into like an animal.
A weird one too.
Yeah. Straight from his imagination. And anyway, at this point, he has gone through several bodies that he's taken over and burned up, and now he's using his own father's.
Wow, that is cold.
Yeah.
All right, so the fighting's going on. Banshee there's something going on with Banshee. What is... He's upset. And that's a problem with reading X-Men, jumping into it. There's all this backstory, and you don't know the backstory.
I kind of do.
Yeah,
so,
I don't.
Well,
and this makes it hard for new readers. That's one reason kids, because there's X-Men and Superman. Everybody has decades-long backstory, and it's hard to jump right in. Because you can't really begin at the beginning, then start, and because it'll take you for years to read them all. So.
Right, and that's why the Marvel method, they always at least try to have a flashback scene or something, and that little box in the top of the splash page to kind of help you along.
Right.
Because there's a lot of continuity. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of relationships that you don't know, and you just have to kind of wing your way through them.
Yeah, that's a problem with the comics, though, that are not anthologies, whatever. And I think it does affect sales. And
but at the same time, if you're invested in them, the payoff is really good to see what goes on with the ongoing storyline of such and such characters.
Yeah. Oh, we have an interesting Saturday morning cartoon, which are over. They're
advertising. Advertisement here about the Saturday morning cartoon on ABC.
Yeah. Plastic Man, which I did not see.
It's crap.
Oh, it probably is. Mighty Man and Yuck, the world's ugliest dog. Man, was that bad.
Yeah.
Fangfoot and Fangpuss. Didn't see that. But here's something. Scooby and Scrappy Doo.
Oh, isn't that your favorite?
Mm-hmm. And Spider-Woman has her own show.
Yeah, she had that for a season.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun cartoon.
Is it?
Yeah, and Spider-Man shows up in a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, the X-Men are fighting Proteus. Storm conjures up, a storm, like some fog to try and confuse him or whatever.
Yeah. And he puts her in amber. And so Wolverine has to cut her out. That's kind of cool. And it's pretty neat. It's a good fight.
Yeah.
People trying to beat him up, and he's fighting the whole X-Men group. Yeah. And he's doing a dang good job.
He's holding his own. He's really powerful. He has these weird reality-bending powers. Anything he can dream up, he can make happen.
Yeah. Okay, and Banshee shoots him, so you know something's wrong.
Banshee's got a gun because his sonic scream isn't working. Mm-hmm. He wants to take this guy out because he's in love with Moira, and he doesn't want her to be killed. Because that's part of Proteus' plan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, he makes the ground underneath Banshee disappear, and he goes to a big hole, and he's going to get crushed, and Scott Summers saves him.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, and Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler saves him.
No, but I thought, okay.
Doesn't he teleport down in the hole and get him out? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Summers sends him down. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So.
A lot of crazy stuff happening. Okay, Phoenix fights him, and she gets her butt kicked, too.
Wow, and she's so powerful, she kind of makes the rest of the X-Men redundant. And so for her to get it handed to her, this guy's tough.
Yeah.
So Wolverine attacks him.
And it doesn't work. Well, let's see. Let's see.
There's Havoc.
Havoc and Cyclops attack him at the same time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And he disappears, so they smack each other with their eye beams. I always wanted eye beams.
Now,
cool.
but because Cyclops and Havoc are brothers, their powers don't affect each other. They can't hurt each other with their powers. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is. All right. This is a cool fight. The thing is, Proteus is getting old quick.
Yeah, the bodies that he takes over get used up. And become like mummified, basically.
Yeah, and he's thrown away. They grab him and throw him against a wall, and his original body, which is kind of made out of energy, appears.
Yeah.
And he sends Cyclops because Proteus is one thing you cannot.
No, it's Colossus, not Cyclops.
Colossus, excuse me. It's a C word.
Yeah. He's vulnerable to metal.
Yeah.
That's why Wolverine was able to hurt him too. With the claws. Yeah. But Colossus was able to fight his energy form because for some reason he's weak against metal. And Proteus is killed in the fight with Colossus. So the rest of the X-Men show up, and Moira's upset, even though, you know, her son was evil, that was still her child.
Yeah, and her ex-husband, I mean, still... I
don't know. Like, I think at one time she was probably very in love with her husband. And if you love somebody, even if it doesn't work out, you'll always have that there. And so she's got to be going through some stuff. Yeah. And then Banshee shows up to console her, which is good.
I like her.
So. Yeah, no, she's great.
Okay.
So, yay!
All right, we get another one. Rage.
Yes.
Against the Machine.
No. We fast forward a bit to X-Men number 140. We're going from a reprint from classic X-Men, but that's the issue that's reprinted. Classic X-Men was a reprint book in the 80s. But anyway, yes, this is Rage. And John Byrne and Chris Claremont co-plotted the book. Claremont did the script, and John Byrne penciled it, and Terry Austin did the inks.
Okay.
We open up with a splash page of Colossus. He's in his armored form, and he's got his some chains wrapped around a tree stump, and he's yanking it up out of the ground.
Yeah, they go on about it that he wants to be a farmer, and he can't be. So,
yeah.
Peter Rasputin, man, that's kind of... He was a bad guy, Rasputin. It's really bad.
I think when they came up with the character, like, what sounds Russian? Pyotr Rasputin.
Like, you know, well, what sounds American? Joe Manson. What sounds German? Oh, Otto Hitler. You know, for crying out loud. It wasn't smart for them to do it that way. It's a loaded term. Although maybe is he related to Rasputin?
I don't think they've ever delved into that. I think it's just a name. But
oh, all right. So he is clearing stumps out of a field, and he's really enjoying it.
Yeah, and then he has this really nice interplay with the Angel, who is visiting the X-Men. He's only kind of a part-timer at this point. And I like the Angel, and I like this conversation they have. Peter's English isn't so great, and so he tries to explain how he enjoys the simple things in life. And the Angel says, you know, like, buddy, Shakespeare couldn't have said it better than that.
Right.
I love this. This is really nice.
And Angel's, you know, I thought he was just a clodhopper, but he's really intelligent. He's got a great soul. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We have Storm. There's some cool guy is trying to put the moves on her, and
she's not having it. She's just on the street, walking down the street.
Yeah, man. People used to dress this way.
Yeah.
Almighty.
Yeah, she gives this guy the brush off and actually makes it rain on him, which is funny. And she's going to pick up Kitty Pryde from her dance lessons with Stevie Hunter, who's a friend of the X-Men. And a recurring character supporting. So
yeah,
love Kitty Pryde. One of my favorite characters. Yeah.
I can't get into her. So
well, sorry.
All right. Yep, I am.
So anyway, we go to another subplot where Nightcrawler and Wolverine are in Canada fighting the Wendigo.
Yeah, Wendigo is similar to Solomon Grundy. Very limited speech.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, even more limited speech than Grundy, because Grundy at least can think and talk words. Wendigo's just a monster.
Right. And
But-
it says Wendigo. So
Yeah. So you know who he is.
he's after Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler has his hands full.
Yeah. But yeah, Nightcrawler and Wolverine are up in Canada fighting the Wendigo with a couple of members of Alpha Flight.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian, Shaman, and Snowbird.
Yeah, they're looking for Wendigo, and they're trying to, what do you want to do? And Nightcrawler is thrown against the cabin there, and so, hey, we found Wendigo.
Yeah.
Big fight ensues.
Yeah. I enjoy Alpha Flight too.
Okay, well, I've never read off. This is my first. They
Oh.
seem okay for Canucks, so.
Yeah. And it's fun. They were supporting characters they were dreamed up by John Byrne in the X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got their own book that Byrne wrote and drew for a number of issues.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so, okay, who do we have?
Snowbird,
Snowbird. We have the,
the Guardian, and Shaman.
yeah.
Although I think at this time Guardian is called Vindicator. He's the
Okay.
leader of Alpha Flight. But anyway,
Mhm. Yeah, that's Vindicator.
now
Alright, so Wolverine used to be part of Alpha Flight, or part of them or something, right?
yeah,
And then
Alpha Flight was put together by Department H from Canada's government, and he was the first of their superheroes. And he was originally going to be the leader of Alpha Flight, but he defected.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he has a long-standing relationship with Vindicator, Mac Hudson, and his wife Heather, who we'll learn about more. We got an issue of Alpha Flight to read for next week. So anyway,
Alright, Wendigo has his mother and her baby hostage, and he's going to eat her. So,
yeah, because the Wendigo, someone becomes the Wendigo when they commit an act of cannibalism.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Oh.
and because you're in Canada and sometimes people get trapped in the snow or trappers or whatever, the Wendigo becomes a thing fairly regularly. It's an ongoing problem.
Wow, okay. Well, I don't want to move to Canada then. I thought you just had to worry about bears.
Right. I mean, within comics, obviously. I'm not talking.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
That's being silly.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
the Wendigo is really powerful. I mean, you remember Wolverine's first appearance. He's the Wendigo and fought the Hulk and Wolvie to a standstill. The Hulk!
Mm-hmm.
And we read an issue of the Hulk where Hulk and Sasquatch from Alpha Flight fought the Wendigo. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. Okay, so Snowbird, I guess that's her name.
Yeah.
Turns into a white Wolverine.
yeah.
How ironic. They
Yeah.
got two Wolverines.
Yeah.
And they fight and fight and fight.
And she manages to subdue the Wendigo where everyone else had failed,
Yeah, interesting.
despite all their other powers.
Yeah, and the Wolverine that she becomes, the real Wolverine, has to talk her down and get her out of her craziness.
Yeah, because she can shapeshift into certain animals, but there's a risk for her that the animal part will take over.
Right.
And so he has to kind of cool her
That's
jets.
kind of cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
And then Shaman, who was a Native American or Canadian, First Nation people. Anyway, he has magic and mysticism and stuff, and he's a healer. So he's able to turn the subdued Wendigo back to a human being,
Mm-hmm.
who is promptly arrested for murder.
I don't know why that amused me. I just,
Yeah,
oh, but wow, they got a cool ship.
yeah, Alpha Flight. Yeah, they do have a cool ship. So anyway, they Wolverine and Nightcrawler head home, and Vindicator gets news from somebody from the Canadian cabinet or prime minister that Alpha Flight's losing its funding.
Yeah, defeated by the Canadian government.
Yeah. Now they still have official clearance and stuff, but just Department H isn't going to fund their operations anymore
Yeah, yeah.
because I think Department H is going away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, it's sort of.
yeah.
Yeah, I would gladly pay more taxes for a superhero bureau myself.
Yeah, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
I want my taxes wasted. I want people in tights kicking criminals' butts. That's what I like.
uh,
Man, but yeah, a good episode, a good issue. I like that.
yeah. So, I liked it too. It's a lot of fun. And that is the issue that directly precedes the beginning of the Days of Future Past storyline.
Heard about it. Don't know it. So.
I didn't read it until the end of last year, actually, and I, oddly enough,
Hmm.
and so anyway, it's very good.
All right.
So the next issue we've got to talk about it's another what if. We had a what if last week,
Hmm.
and this is what if Phoenix had not died, from What If number 27, and this was written by Mary Jo Duffy, penciled by Jerry Bingham, with inks by John Stewart.
It's written by a girl. Oh no. Yeah, that's cool, actually.
So,
Yeah. The Phoenix thing, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the movie. I just don't care.
yeah, well, the movie was
I know.
lousy
That
with it.
was my first. I've heard about it, then saw the movie, and it's just, nah.
And I hadn't, the Dark Phoenix saga was a thing that I was aware of and had heard all the hype about, and even at my height of X-Men reading, when I was much younger, never read until, like, literally last month.
Yeah.
How lame of me. And then I read it, and I'm like, yeah, it was good, but not, like, the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. Yeah, the Kree Skrull War, it struck me the same way. It was like, it was okay, but not great. I don't know, it just didn't really... I read so much about it, so, wow, it looks really cool. Two great star nations fighting each other. It sounds great, and it was kind of meh.
Like, I will say,
not bad. But,
I thought the Kree Skrull War was good, was very good comics, but its reputation is built up so much that
Yeah.
it's not as good as the hype, unfortunately.
Exactly.
And I think, and that story is also kind of a letdown because it's a misnomer. You think it's going to be like this
Right.
huge epic about the Kree and the Skrull, and it's really just the part of the Kree Skrull War which raged for millennia.
Yeah.
It's just the part where the Avengers get involved.
Yeah.
So it's very good,
Yeah. But, I don't know.
but it's
I could have done it. No.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
Okay.
so we kind of get a recap of how Jean became the Phoenix in the first place, and then the Dark Phoenix saga itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That goes for several pages. She saved the world from the evil Shi'ar Emperor Daken, who was going to use the M'Kraan crystal to destroy the universe or something.
Mhm.
And then anyway, she then her power got out of control. She became the Dark Phoenix. She destroyed a whole planet of like 5 billion plant people. And then the Shi'ar Empire decided she has to be put to death because she's a threat to the whole universe.
Okay, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
When does it start? Okay, her coming back to life after that is the what if, right?
Yeah, her not dying is the
Right.
what if. The what if is after the X-Men, fought the Shi'ar Imperial Guard to if they lost, then she would be killed, or
Mhm.
if they won, she would get to live. They defeated the Imperial Guard, and then she killed herself because the Dark Phoenix force was taking over. In this, the X-Men are defeated by the Imperial Guard, and they lobotomize her to remove the power, or so they think.
Yeah, or some kind of lobotomy.
Yeah. And so then she and the X-Men are sent on their merry way.
Mhm.
This is the what if context.
All right. Okay.
So
I didn't know where it ended, so
Okay.
I thought I was sure, but I wasn't. I didn't want to read 30 pages of wiki to find out.
Okay.
Okay, so she loses her power and she's serving tea and freaks out Beast.
yeah,
You're serving me tea?
yeah.
um,
So the Beast and the Angel, they bail because they're not full-time X-Men anymore. The Beast, of course, is with the Avengers at this point.
yeah. We have a bunch of training, and that's
In the Danger Room. I love the Danger Room.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, and it's one thing you don't see much people getting ready for combat or fighting.
Right. I think that was one of the strengths of reading X-Men comics. They had this, amazing room that could create all these dangerous situations for them to train with. And it was always a good splash panel, good way to open any X-Men story with that. So,
yeah. So Galactus comes into play, and he is going against the same a planet of the star system, which lobotomized Phoenix.
Yeah. So the X-Men go to try and help. Princess Lalandra asks Professor X to send the X-Men to help because her Imperial Guard aren't anywhere nearby. They can't help. So the X-Men come.
And they start fighting.
And they fight Terrax, who is...
pretty bad.
He's awesome. And he's probably my favorite Herald of Galactus.
Besides Silver Surfer? Or?
Yeah, besides the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Firelord is really cool, too. But yeah.
This is the first time I've seen him, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I like his blade.
Yeah. My introduction to him was this great storyline in the Fantastic Four in the 80s, The Trial of Galactus, and it's awesome. So anyway.
They're having this huge fight, and Galactus ignores him.
Yeah, and because
Terrax...
Oh, yeah, and Terrax basically kicks the X-Men's butts, all of them, even Havoc, who is very powerful as well. But the Phoenix... the Phoenix Force rises in her again, or whatever, and she kicks the crap out of Terrax, strips away his power
and his clothes, and so now he's just a naked. No, I guess he's naked.
Anyway,
so cool.
But anyway, then she confronts Galactus.
Yeah, and Galactus is ticked off because she bashed the Herald.
Yeah.
So it's a huge, cool fight. And
anyway, they fight to a standstill, and then they have... What is her conversation with Galactus? He asks her to join him or whatever, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And she's not having it.
Yeah.
She destroys his world, his machine that's going to convert this planet into energy for him to consume, and sends him on his way.
Mm-hmm.
So then she's Phoenix again, and she and the X-Men go back on their adventures. They keep the Days of Future Past thing from happening in the present time without ever any of the time travel stuff having to happen.
Yeah. Kitty's having trouble because there's no one to relate to. She likes Peter Rasputin, and I don't know. He doesn't think he likes her that much, so it's kind of awkward. Yeah,
with Jean alive and still around, Kitty doesn't really form that strong bond that she had with Storm. And so she's kind of an outsider. It feels like one in the X-Men. So things develop differently.
Mm-hmm.
The Sentinels come back.
The Sentinels remind me of Galactus a lot.
Do they?
They're big, humanoid, and implacable. You know? I mean, there's no reason the Sentinels have to look humanoid.
No. But they look cool.
Yeah. But
so anyway, the Sentinels come back. They capture the Angel and Iceman. And Phoenix goes and wipes out the Sentinels.
Yeah.
But every time she's using her power, she's further losing her grip on herself.
Yeah. She goes and destroys a sun.
Another one.
But uninhabited.
Yeah. So then she shows back to the X-Mansion, and Kitty confronts her because she knows she snuck out.
And she kills Kitty.
Yeah. And the X-Men are all shocked by this. It was so senseless. Kitty did nothing.
Yeah.
To deserve that.
So, the doctor's going to try to...
Professor X.
Professor?
The doctor.
I'm sure he's a doctor, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but nobody calls him Dr. Xavier. Okay. They call him Professor Xavier.
Yeah. Well, he goes against her, and he dies.
Yeah.
And everyone else is fighting him, and they... Storm, and... Who's that guy?
Who?
Iceman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in this party.
Yeah.
Wolverine, they all get their butts kicked.
Yeah. She kills a bunch of the X-Men, too.
Mm-hmm.
And It's terrible.
And Scott fights her, and he's
No, she kills all the X-Men and then herself.
and the world.
Yeah.
And the Watcher, hey, this is what could happen, so be careful about that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the moral is, what if Phoenix hadn't died? She died anyway, and the whole world is destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yay! Sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least it was interesting.
Yeah.
Not bad. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So we have a backup story, and I have to say, the trouble I have with these backup stories in What If. I don't know if this is supposed to be in continuity or not, because it's in What If.
Yeah.
But this story is called Kree Encounter, and it's about some members of the Eternals who are exiled on this planet.
What planet?
Which, you tell me? I don't even remember.
Uranus.
Oh.
So you can say that word without snickering. And
right.
It's a simpler time.
I forgot. A week
the god's name is Uranos. So
right. Yeah. Can I give credits, please?
No.
Okay. Anyway, this story was written by Mark Grunwald, penciled by Ron Wilson, and inked by Bruce Patterson. Now, I'm not super familiar with the Eternals, so I don't really know their whole story. But some of them they're not bad, but one of them is crazy. Uranos is crazy, I think. Mm-hmm. And they're exiled on Uranus. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Apparently they destroyed a Kree sentry, which is no small task.
Right. And Uranos is going to use. I guess they found a bunch of stuff that they can use the technology, and they want to create a ship, and it's really cool looking.
Yeah. Too. He wants to leave and escape this world they're exiled on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and a new Hostess Twinkie thing.
Oh, you haven't seen that one before?
No, with the human computer?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
All right. The villain gets to eat Hostess cupcakes. Isn't that a shame? The hero rarely eats it, but they get the Twinkies.
What I think is funny is this villain, looks like such a 1980s computer, or 70s version of a computer, and he disguises himself as a pinball machine, and then Spidey finds him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway.
Okay, so they get in their ship,
Uranus,
and leaves Uranus, and here's a Kree huge armada coming down, and they see them, and they check out and say, hey, they destroyed one of our Sentinels, or whatever sentries. So hey, they must be bad. So they find the ship and destroy it. The end. But not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. So the last book we've got to talk about today is it's Where Monsters Dwell, number 16, and it's more Marvel monster reprints, but this is fun stuff. And the lead story is Beware of Googum, Son of Goom. It's a reprint from Tales of Suspense, number 17, from 1961, written by either Stan Lee or Larry Lieber, penciled by Jack Kirby, and inked by Dick Ayers. And this is a load of fun. Now, this is a sequel to an earlier story. 2 issues previously in Tales of Suspense, there was Goom, this monster come to take over the world, and was defeated. And this is his son.
Mm-hmm.
So,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the sun comes up, and
interesting turn of phrase there.
Yeah, he's a baby, and he finds these scientists in the cabin, and says, "Ha, I've caught you now." So
yeah. Now Googum, his head looks like a tomato. Yeah. He's got this huge mouth. He looks awesome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jack Kirby, for being alive. So he's holding these people hostage. I'm not sure why. I think he's trying to get his strength up or something.
Yeah,
he's getting bigger and bigger.
He has not fully matured, and he knows that if he's going to take over the world, he needs to be.
This is an interesting plot. How are they going to tell people they need help? And it's a couple and their kid.
Mm-hmm.
and the neighbors are talking. I haven't seen them in a while, well, none of your business. Okay, so and someone comes to visit and
Googum just answers the door and freaks him out and laughs maniacally. He loves this. He loves every minute of being a monster.
Yeah, and the old woman who ran away told him, and her husband doesn't believe it.
Well, of course.
I wouldn't either, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'll go check it out.
Right?
Yeah, might be something cool.
So when the mailman comes by, the son throws a rock out the window with a note around it.
Yeah. The mailman sees the note, but runs off because Gugum is chasing after him.
Yeah. What's this big monster? Big red monster. He looks
And
awesome.
he's getting bigger and bigger. It's
Yeah.
really cool. Man. So the postman read the note, tells people, and they don't believe him. So, all right. So the teenage boy has an idea. Hey, I tell you what. I'm smarter than you. I'm going to beat you in this race and to the bottom of the hill, or
In a game of tag.
in a game.
Says
of
all you have
tag.
to do is catch me.
Right.
So he gives him a head start. Gugum says, of course I will defeat you. So Gugum gives him a head start, and the kid runs.
Yeah.
And Gugum's chasing him.
Yeah. And his father says, "Watch out for the quicksand." And when I was younger, I thought quicksand would be a much bigger problem than it actually turned out to be.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh.
But in the old TV shows, every other day someone's falling in quicksand.
Of course. And, of course, the kid jumps up in a tree, and Gugum runs and gets caught in the quicksand.
Yay! He doesn't even believe it's quicksand because he thinks it was a trick.
Right.
How long can we be sure he remains in that pit? We can only hope.
Yeah.
All right.
That's interesting. It's one of the rare, Marvel monster stories that's a sequel. A lot of them are really one and done, and you never see that monster again.
Yeah.
But
I like the idea that the people being trapped with them. That was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
How do you get out of it? And how do you tell people?
and it's so weird to have this monster basically controlling your household.
Yeah. And shrinking them and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I really enjoyed reading that. That was a load of fun. And this next story is a load of something. It's called "He Who Laughs Last Gets the Horse Laugh."
Yeah.
This is a reprint from Adventures into Terror number 11 from way back in 1952 with art by Jack Abel.
I don't know. The artwork's not. Okay. What we have is a horse act. Got in a costume. One guy is the horse's rear end. One guy is the front. And it's a TV show, and it makes people laugh. But the guy in the horse's butt wants to be the horse head, and he's really angry about it.
Yeah.
The guy in the front says, "Oh, I can't do that. It's a family tradition."
Yeah.
So the guy knocks him out and
Drowns him.
drowns him. Yeah,
And then he thinks, haha, I'm going to take over the act.
yeah, and he's found beaten to death by horse hooves. The end.
Yeah, and it's super lame, and it was so weird, like a vaudevillian act on television, and they're just going to do the same thing every night on TV.
Work for Hee Haw.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think Buck Owens and Roy Clark and all the cast are really great. Man, they did the same joke 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Got lame. Music was good.
Yeah.
P.U.
Yeah. Oh, I love the music of Buck Owens and Roy Clark. But so the last story of this issue and for this episode is called "I Am Gorak," and it's a reprint from Tales of Suspense number 14 from back in 1961, written by either Stan Lee or Larry Lieber, with art by Steve Ditko.
I knew it.
He's pretty unmistakable.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
So the story is about Gorak, who's a master of illusion. He's a stage magician, excuse me.
But he's not a stage magician. He is really an illusionist. And people say, I'm not. And it's all fake and all that stuff. Although, accusing a stage magician, you're using wires and stuff like that. For crying out loud, what do you think he's using? Real magic? Which is kind of
Yeah.
absurd to accuse.
Yeah, it's
But-
just fun. Can
Yeah.
you just have fun?
Yeah, you try to figure out how it is, and you don't know. And really finding out how magicians do their tricks, you really want to, don't.
Yeah, because it just spoils the fun.
Right.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. But this is not a magic act. This is magic. No act.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and he does some crazy stuff. Some weird creature that, man, looks like a Kirby monster. And
Sure.
that's high praise from me.
Yeah.
And
Ditko was no slouch at making monsters either.
yeah, he is pretty cool. So there's flames, and he so people say, oh, he's a fake, and then so he says, oh, do this in an arena. So there's you can't. He's surrounded by people, so how
Right.
can he fake something? Although you
Exactly.
can do that, but
Sure, but it's a lot harder.
so he gets huge and
Embiggens
destroys-
himself.
Yeah, I love that word. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
I love that. Great Simpsons reference. I love it. So,
Yeah, and he breaks the fourth wall and talks to you and I.
yeah, it turns out we are figments of his imagination. Gorak is the master of everything. Or wait, no, but wait, this whole story is part of a comic book. What?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right, Gorak. No one knows what is real and what is illusion. Least of all you. Least of all in a character in a story. Now that the story has ended.
Wow. Kind of dumb, but pretty fun, actually.
Actually, I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see you in the funny papers.